SPOP 8. So, I just want to preface by saying that this is the first time I've ever done spoken word. It's the first poem I've ever written, so I just really hope that the message of this poem really hits home for some of you, and to others, kind of like what we've been going through the entire SPOP, but just to be a little bit more aware of your surroundings, a little bit more aware of the people around you. So, this poem is entitled, Embrace the Awkward. So by now, most of you may have heard the phrase, embrace the awkward.
Yes.
Embrace the awkward, like this? Maybe only. Right? Like, what does that even mean? Like, how can you hug something that's... Let me start again. So much was easier when we were kids. When all we had to worry about was remembering to feed our goldfish, instead of fishing for gold compliments to feed our self-esteem. And our biggest anxiety came from missing an episode of Pokemon, and not from seeing ourselves in the mirror as monsters to be pocketed away. When makeup was only used to touch up dolls as we played make-believe in makeshift scenarios, and not to incessantly hide our imperfections with makeovers. I don't know my sister. You see, it took me by surprise the first time I realized I still acted as if I was 5. I used to sound right and made me feel so alive, just didn't make sense anymore. Like a poem that stopped rhyming, my mannerisms fell out of place, my body fell out of shape, my confidence left without a trace, until I was left, tongue twisted and tied, stuttering my rehearsed lines through, repeating everything I said just to make sure I was listened to. Even surrounded by friends, the lump in my throat would swell, while the pinnacle of my vocabulary became like, yeah, so well. My anxieties and awkwardness only grew worse when I found myself immersed in a girl who I was convinced would be my first. Every time I saw her, my eyes lit up, like a boy who had found the perfect game at an arcade. Enticed by the blinding screen of color, my guard shattered as the symphonic cluster of sounds challenged me to step out of my base. Soon I'm running marathons, like a minion rushing to collect bananas! Forever chasing the high score so that I can claim that this game is mine. But when I find only her at my side, the words don't want to come out. They keep catching on my lungs, my jaw tight as if by magic, the unspoken words dripping like tears off my chin, and I'm left stuck imagining a Disney ending. Wishing upon a star to be a man and go the distance, to be a part of her world, to show her a whole new one. The glimpse of her and I starts fading until eventually I crack. I commit and ask, only to be turned down to this day by every girl I've asked. I don't see you that way. You're like a brother, or you're too nice to be with someone like me. Constantly rejected to the point where I started to wonder if I would have better luck turning to guys, and not because of my orientation, but just to hear someone call me mine. But still I try. Still I try despite the nails pinned on my wings. Still I try despite my habit to repeat, and my inability to figure out what goes on in a girl's head. Still I try because I once dunked myself into a chasm of self-doubt and forgot to drop a ladder for the climb back up. With clouds that loomed overhead, threatening to congratulate me with a shower of anxiety and helplessness until a random hug lifted me from my imagined prison. The hero? A girl in my 7th grade homeroom class, 2 rows back and 5 seats down, whom I'd never spoken to in my life, simply gave me a big smile and a hug and continued to walk on by. And since that day, I've never forgotten 2 things. To not forget a ladder if you ever dig that deep down. Like, who does that? And the welcoming feeling of an unexpected embrace. So as I conclude, I want to share a little rhyme with you all. Turn to the people next to you and stand tall. Reach out to them, maybe with a small caw. Because overall, if you don't stall and gather the gall to start the conversation with a what's up, y'all, then before you know it, you'll be having a ball at the mall with your newfound friends and Wait, it's probably someone from your own hall. Chances are your buddies already, well, it's the Olympics and all. But don't let that be a wall, because out of sight, there's still someone fighting to crawl. Embrace the awkward, that's all I'm saying. Literally or figuratively, it doesn't matter, because who knows? With a smile and a hug, maybe you'll end up saving a life. Like that girl, 2 rows back and 5 seats down.